I've grown up my entire life hating my biological dad because my mom said he never wanted to know me, but I just found out she kept the pregnancy a secret from him, so he never knew. Posted by you/yes of course Ahmed. The story I, 17F, was told at 14 was that my dad wasn't my biological father. He was the man who married my mom after I was already born. Basically, my mom and dad thought at the time that I deserved to know this because a few people around us kept saying how I didn't look like him. I had also been asking them if I might be adopted or something. Yeah, I know. Very little was said about the man my mom got pregnant with, but the basic gist was that he didn't care about her being pregnant, didn't want a child in the first place, and so she didn't want anything to do with him. She cut all contact, no child support because my mom's family is well off. I won't lie and say I wasn't hurt, but I got over it quickly enough with the help of my mom and dad. Sadly, mom and dad got a divorce last year. I guess they just felt like they didn't love each other that way anymore. They're still good friends with each other though, no drama, for which I'm grateful. Still, this kind of prompted me to start thinking about my biological father, and I ended up looking him up online. He's 36, I don't know what I expected to find, really, but he's just normal, I guess. I think I imagined he'd have this kind of jerkish look about him because of how he rejected me before I was even born. Anyway, one night, after drinking more than I should have with some friends, I did something stupid and sent him a message. I basically accused him of being horrible, evil, and a bunch of other less polite things because of how he abandoned me. The next morning, after I actually remembered what I did, I saw his reply. It was polite but confused. He had no idea who I was or how I was supposed to be related to him. I have my dad's last name. He ended by saying I probably had the wrong person and wished me the best. I don't know why, but it pissed me off even more, even though I was now sober, and a bit hungover. So I fired off several paragraphs to him about who I am, who my mom is, and what he did to us. His reply came that evening, and it was quite extensive, but I'll sum it up for you. They broke up on bad terms after being together for a little over a year. She never mentioned any pregnancy to him, and when he later tried to contact her because he felt bad about how things ended, she rebuffed him and blocked him. That was the last time he tried to reach out to her. Needless to say, my anger toward him disappeared instantly, and suddenly my father was the one angry at my mom for hiding me from him. I was wondering how to talk to my mom about what I found out, but I didn't have to because my father contacted her first and confronted her about keeping me from him. We're slowly getting to know each other, mostly online, though we've talked a few times over video chat since he doesn't live in the same country as us. It'll soon be time to meet in real life, and I'm nervous as hell. But by all accounts and the way he's talked to me, and the fact that he's held back on introducing me to the rest of his family, I think I'm really going to like him. Why the hell did she do it? She says she has no idea why she really did this. She blames it on pregnancy and other stuff, but I don't see how pregnancy could have influenced her for my whole life. I love her, but there are times when it's just the two of us, and I can't help but hate her for denying us both the chance to know each other as I grew up. I can tell my father is hurt by this, though he doesn't say it outright. And my mom probably knows how I feel, given that she sometimes tears up when she sees I'm angry or being short with her. I feel torn in two, happy when I'm talking with my father, but mad as hell when I'm talking to my mom afterward. I want everything to get better, but at the same time, I want her to hurt. What do I do now? Update 1 month later. I found out why she lied to me about my biological father not wanting me. It's maddeningly simple and stupid. She was basically getting to know my dad, her now ex-husband, and he wanted to know about my father's involvement in our lives. Put on the spot, she made up this ridiculous story about how he didn't really care about having a child, that they didn't keep in touch, and over the years, it evolved into a full-blown theater play, which is what I got years later when I asked about my father. My dad, I guess, didn't want to pour salt on the wound, so he just avoided the subject in the future until I asked about it. That's it, that's the whole reason why I didn't know my father my entire life up until recently. No, really, because she didn't want to look like some spiteful, crazy woman who neglected to tell someone they were a father, she made this up. Which is some bitter irony for her, because now she does look like a crazy and spiteful woman with the lies she told about my father. I am so mad at her. I can still barely control my anger around her. All I want to do is hurt her so she feels the kind of pain I felt when I found out I missed out on knowing my father all along and him getting to know me as well. I restrain myself more often than not, but goddamn, this isn't something that's just going to be pushed aside. I don't know what we'll do, and I know that sometime in the future I'll probably re-establish a good relationship with my mother, but right now, it's just not happening. But on the brighter side of things, I met my father. Some people mentioned in the last thread that I should be careful how, when, and where I met him, but given how everyone who knew him back then and now had nothing but good things to say about him, I connected with my father's side of the family, plenty of cousins, aunts, uncles, and so on to talk with and meet, and it's a bit overwhelming how many of them there are and how overjoyed they were to find out about me. I gave him a few dates when we could meet, and he picked this last weekend. He flew back on Friday, visited his parents, my grandparents. Man, it's so weird to have another set of grandparents in the mix, and then we met up. I really don't know what I was expecting. I mean, yes, we talked, and he seemed very understanding and kind and good and so genuinely interested in meeting me, but I guess there was just that messed up fear of him not liking what he actually saw and leaving. Thanks for that, Mom. It didn't matter in the least. As soon as we met, there was just this moment, I don't know how to describe it. I don't think I've ever had anything like that before. He just hugged me, and I could feel him shaking. I think he was holding himself back from crying, and I started crying for no real reason. Then we talked and spent the rest of the day together. We pretty much spent the whole weekend together. From the moment I got up, we talked, and by the time he was boarding his flight, I didn't want him to leave ever again, and he won't, not really. He wanted to know everything about me, and I literally mean everything. And I guess what really made me love him is him asking to meet my dad, asking me if it was okay with me, and then thanking him for his part in raising me. They talked more with each other while I was busy with something else, and I think they became sort of friends. I'm not really sure what to call their relationship. So to all of you who helped me deal with my messed up situation, thank you, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Even if it seemed like I was just venting out loud on the internet, thank you. Thank you all.